we were praying for the house here, and I had 3 experiences in the middle of the night over a period of time where the Lord dealt with me on a couple of scriptures. And twice in his epistles, Paul says, do not become weary in well-doing. For in due season you will reap if you do not faint. The only people who get weary are people who hope. Everybody gets tired. But weariness comes from what you carry. And see, hope is about believing in something that we don't have yet. And it's living in the tension between what is and what should be. And that tension, that mystery, that pull can be exhausting. And it can wear us out. And the Lord drove me, especially for the house here, but I think it applies to any of us that are seeking revival, to Isaiah 6 that Chris read this morning. In the year that King Uzziah died, Isaiah said, I saw the Lord. Think about that. In the year King Uzziah died, I saw. When the lights went out, I saw. You've got to understand their relationship. Uzziah and Isaiah were best friends. They grew up together. So as little children, you could see them, playing in the palace, playing David and Goliath, or as teenagers walking through the temple and talking to each other about how the two of them were going to change the nation. They were going to bring revival to the nation. And they did. They changed the culture. They changed the climate of the nation. But late in his life, Uzziah fell. And Isaiah had to watch the decline in the final years of his life. And then in the year that Uzziah died, Isaiah saw. Maybe for the very first time, he really saw. He looked into the heavens and he saw the Lord high and lifted up. But I don't believe that's what changed him. What changed him was the fact that he saw the Lord high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. That's where Isaiah was. So he saw what was going on in heaven invading the space where he was at. And in his heart, he said, God, I realize I've become disconnected from that because of disappointment and disillusionment. The king died and my dreams died and I stopped looking up. And he said, I have an unclean mouth. I don't think that means he was profane. It means he said, I come from a people that talk like that. I'm suddenly talking like the people around me and not like a person who has seen heaven. And so God sends fire on his lips. And he says, I'm going to put the word of hope back in your mouth because the land in which you live needs hope more than anything else. So he fires up his lips again. And then he takes him out and he shows him an entire field of trees that had been clear cut down to stumps. And he said to him, now I want you to take the fire that's on your lips and I want you to preach to the stumps. And he said, why would I do that? And he said, because there is holy seed still in those stumps. And I want you to preach to the stumps until the seed bears fruit. I want you to preach to the stumps until you see the reality of life rising from it again. Out of his weariness, he stepped into an encounter with God where he saw that heaven flooded the space where he was at, and it changed everything about where he was. And if this day, if this moment is about anything, it's about you and me seeing the Lord not only high and lifted and exalted, but seeing the train of his robe fill the temple, the space that we're standing in, and him speaking to us and saying, I want to reattach you to heaven so that you speak from heaven to earth and speak and speak and speak, no matter how dead your situation looks, no matter how much it looks destroyed. Speak until you see life rise again.